Hi, I'm Abigail Kessel, and this is my pitch for Music for the Soul, a cello story. So just a little bit of background. I did this video on my friend Claire, who plays the cello, and I wanted to know why she loved the cello so much. I feel like the cello is such a big part of who she is. And I went into the story looking with the angle of passion, of, you know, what is so important about cello to Claire. But I ended up going down a different route that I feel like made me appreciate music a lot more and left me with a lot more questions and answers. And one question I had was, why does everyone love music? I mean, you can ask my 9-year-old grandmother who doesn't know how to work a CD player, or my baby cousin obsessed with Baby Shark. They all love music. And I think there's a quote that explains this best. Charles Mingus, a famous jazz musician, said, "Music is a language of emotions." And I really think that is what makes music so valuable and so loved by everyone. Its ability to make you feel seen and for you to identify with it through this emotional connection. There's actually scientific data behind this. There's a study done that had a bunch of performers play music with the 20 most common sheet music expression marks. Expression marks are like dulce, sweetly, or furioso, furiously, and they pretty much just tell you how to play the piece. And they had these performers perform for a group of college students, and then after each performance, had the college students say from a list of emotions what emotion it correlated with. These are just the top 4, but you can tell that the correlations are really high. So as a musician, whatever you're playing, whatever you're channeling, you can count on the audience identifying with that and the audience feeling that and having this emotional bond. This is something that I think is really beautiful about music. It's also something Claire loves about music. The cellist of our cello story, she values this emotional connection through music, this emotional expression through the cello. So let's immerse ourselves into our story and let's get into the video.
I am a human first, a musician second, and a cellist third. So I started playing the cello when I was 14. Like, I just really like the feeling of playing the cello and like the resonance of it, and just, it was just like an outlet for me when I was an angsty 14-year-old. It's just like some of the most beautiful music. So the cello, more than any other instrument, feels like it's a part of you. And when you're playing the cello, you can feel it vibrating against your chest, and it's like you're hugging it, and it's like a great feeling. I think being able to get to a point where you feel comfortable performing, it's like, that's the best feeling ever. There's like a very specific type of thrill from performing, in which you kind of like exist outside of yourself, which is, it's really scary, but it's also like the most fun part about playing music. So once you're like sharing this music with people who appreciate it, then you really feel like you're doing the job of the music, which is to communicate about human experience and to just share the feelings that it brings up with a whole room of people. Like, it makes it all worth it to be able to touch someone in that way, even if it's just in a short little moment. I've like had to find like what actually is important about cello. There is just like this part of like expressing yourself that you don't get from anything else.
So after that, you can clearly tell how much Claire loves the cello. I mean, during our interview, she went on and on about how beautiful the cello was, but this story is more than just a cello story. It's not just about the instrument. It's about the emotional expression and the emotional connection behind it. And I think Claire says it best in a quote that I didn't end up putting in the video. I think sometimes people forget that it's not about the instrument. It's not even about the music. It's about what you're saying to yourself and the audience. And that's what Claire is looking for in music, this emotional expression and connection. And we've already a little bit talked about the connection with the audience through the data. So now I'm going to get into, it's about what you're saying to yourself, like this emotional expression for yourself aspect. So cello is Claire's emotional outlet. It's how she expresses herself. She knows at the end of the day She can come to the cello and process her emotions. She had a great day, she had a terrible day. The cello is there and it can help her understand how she's feeling. And once again, she's not alone. There's scientific data behind this. A music therapist did a study that found that playing an instrument helps people cope with anxiety and depression because of its ability to express hard emotions that are really difficult to express otherwise. And in this expression of difficult emotions, people better understand themselves and have a better ability to know how to deal with the emotions that they're having. And that's why playing an instrument is so like good for you mentally as an emotional outlet. But everyone needs an emotional outlet. Yours doesn't need to be cello like Claire's is, although it can. Everyone needs some way to express themselves and process their emotions and understand how they're feeling. And that's why Claire's story can resonate with anyone, because everyone has the feeling of needing to understand how they're feeling. But it doesn't, Claire's story doesn't just resonate with people who need an emotional outlet, which is everyone, but it also resonates because everyone loves music. If you care about music, if you want music to hit home in the way that it does, and you want to continue to value it in the way that it does, you care about Claire's story, because Claire's story is about what makes music great. It's about the language of emotions. And I'm just going to leave you with this quote from Michael Schumacher. He's the author of a book about the life of Eric Clapton. The quote is, "The music performance that touches us the most does not necessarily come from someone who plays and sings with the grace of a god, but from someone bold enough to act as a messenger of the heart." Thank you.